Peppered is a story-driven platformer following one unlikely hero's efforts to save the world while the world tries to stop him. It includes a heavy focus on choices and absurdist humor that distinguishes it from similar titles. 100 years ago, a visitor from another world imprisoned the god of death, banishing his influence forever. Since then, society has turned into a middle-aged paradise where no one ever stays dead. Keeping the god of death at bay requires a ritual by that extraterrestrial visitor, but this time he didn't show up. The apocalypse is mere hours away, but for you, a new intern, that doesn't matter. You may be tempted to take matters into your own hands and save the world, but if you do that, then who will be left to make the coffee? The focus of Peppered is on the story, which doesn't mean that the developers skimped on the mechanics. After avoiding some early bad endings in the short introductory section, the player is launched into a typical 2D precision platformer with a few little quirks. Since the god of death is, for the time being, still confined, death is not forever. The protagonist, who does canonically die a few times, always respawns with the game in the same state and thus has to live with the consequences of said death. In some cases, it can be necessary to tactically die in order to advance to the next screen. But let's go back to the story, because that is where Peppered really shines. As you may have guessed, this is a game driven by comedy, mostly surrealism and farce, with a little light social commentary thrown in for effect. Most of the jokes are jabbing at the protagonist's overly rigid society, one that places absolute adherence to the rules over their own ongoing survival. It doesn't stray away from heavier topics though, and Peppered also has a few choice things to say about the nature of death and of free will. All of this is enhanced by the aesthetic design. Peppered features some gorgeous sprite work with large, highly detailed character sprites, even for characters who don't appear all that much. The music is also solid, avoiding the usual neo-retro cliches, and instead going with more whimsical tunes that really complement the absurdity of the plot. Peppered really sticks the landing with its jokes a lot better than most humor-driven games, and for that reason alone, it's worth a look. Put simply, if you're a fan of humor but don't like the way it's usually done in video games, this one is definitely worth checking out, as it is head and shoulders above the typical comedy game.